Hello everybody and welcome back to Storytime with me this week, Amy. So today I'm going to be reading you some Bible stories, and these stories come from the Bible called the Beginner's Bible. So some of you might have seen this Bible before, you might even have it at home. But if you haven't, not to worry, because we're going to learn together. So our first story is called Jesus Teaches on a Mountain. Now, before we begin, get yourself cosy, maybe grab a blanket, get your favourite toys and cosy up. Right, if you're ready, let's get started. All sorts of people went to see Jesus. Children, mothers, fathers, grandmas and grandpas. They all wanted to hear what he was teaching. There's Jesus in the middle with his arms open wide, everybody watching what he has to say. Look at the birds, said Jesus. Do they store up food in a barn? No, God feeds them. Look at the flowers, said Jesus. They don't work to make clothes. God dresses them in lush leaves and pretty petals. Then Jesus said, you are much more important than birds. You are much more important than flowers. So do not worry. If God takes care of them, God will take care of you. Okay, so that's the end of our first story. So why don't you, next time you're outside or you're on a walk, have a look around you to see things in trees, in bushes, on the ground that God has put there for the animals to eat. Okay, let's go on to our next story. Right, so this story is called Jesus Walks on Water. Jesus told his disciples to go ahead of him. There they are, getting into the boat. Then Jesus walked up a mountainside to pray. Storm clouds filled the sky. Can you see over there in the distance? Jesus could see the disciples in the boat. They were having trouble. The wind whooshed, the waves sloshed, the boat was tossed about. It's looking pretty dangerous there, isn't it? Can you see how frightened they are? Suddenly, the disciples saw someone walking on the water towards them. They thought it was a ghost. Can you see who it is? Jesus called out to them, "It is I. Do not be afraid." The disciples weren't sure. Peter said, "If you really are Jesus, let me walk out to you." Jesus replied, "Come." So you see, Peter's getting out of the boat. Peter stepped out of the boat. He began walking on the water towards Jesus. Then Peter looked at the wind and the waves. He became afraid. Suddenly he started to sink. "Lord, save me!" Peter cried out. Jesus reached out and pulled Peter up. "Why didn't you trust me?" asked Jesus to Peter. They climbed into the boat and the storm stopped. The disciples worshipped Jesus. They said, "Truly you are the Son of God." Right, boys and girls, that is the end of our story time this week. But how about next time you're feeling a bit afraid or something scary is happening, like it was to Peter as he stepped out of the boat, try looking to Jesus. So we can do that by praying and asking for his help. Okay, well, if you are reading this or listening before you go to bed, sleep well, good night, and God bless.